Welcome to Stoughton Health Talk. I'm Deborah Howell, and I invite you to listen as we get introduced to essential oils and learn how they might help us get a handle on stress and our emotions. This podcast is for education purposes only and does not serve as an endorsement. Joining me is Valerie Howard, a certified essential oil specialist. Valerie has been practicing holistic health for herself and family for 12 years. Essential oils are her very, very favorite tool for supporting health. And Valerie, it is a very favorite thing of mine to welcome you. It's such a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Well, first of all, if people have not listened to our other podcasts together, can you just tell us in a nutshell what are essential oils?
So essential oils, they're compounds extracted from plants, all parts of the plants. We can get them from the fruit of the plant, the stems, the flowers, the bark, and it's basically the plant's immune system. So just how it works for the plant to keep the plant healthy, they work with our body, and they're going to address issues, health issues and emotional issues. They work at the root on a cellular level.
And what's the difference between a single oil and a blend?
So a single oil is just going to be one plant. So that might be lemon oil or lavender oil, peppermint oil. So it's just the peppermint leaf in that bottle. A blend is when you combine multiple plants into one bottle. So that might be lemon, lavender, and peppermint all in one bottle. And we call that a blend.
Okay. And is there a difference in strength between a single and a blend?
No, there is not.
Is there anyone who really can't use essential oils?
No, everyone is going to benefit from the essential oils. There are some people that might be a little more sensitive. So I would say especially the elderly or any children under the age of 6, then you would just dilute the oils heavily.
Is there an emotional component? Do you have to be a believer that the essential oils are going to work for them to have any effect?
That's a good question. It's hard for people to understand how just smelling an aroma is going to affect their emotions. So if you think about it very simply, we have our olfactory system, which is right above your nose, right in the top of your nose. So when you're inhaling an aroma, that aroma goes up to your olfactory system. It sends it up to your limbic brain, and your limbic brain's in charge of your emotions and your memories. So it actually triggers memories and emotions and helps to balance out things in the brain, which also affects your nervous system.
There have been medical studies about this. People who were allowed to sniff oranges that were cut in two before taking a test did better than people who did not smell the orange before they took the test.
Right. Yep. Same thing.
Okay. What have essential oils done for you and your family? I understand your son had an issue when he was a toddler. Can you take us through that story?
Yes. He was about 2.5 years old, and by that time he was having frequent meltdowns and a hard time focusing. So we knew we needed something to help support him through that. So I made up a blend. I asked a friend who knew more about essential oils back then than I did, and she recommended these 4 oils that I blend together. And so it was Serenity, Balance, Wild Orange, and Vetiver. I took those 4 oils, made a roller bottle, which you dilute with a carrier oil, and we would roll that on his feet a couple of times a day and then as needed. So if he was having a meltdown or just was having a hard time with his emotions, we would put it on his feet, or you could put it on the back of the neck. After I would rub it in, you have the aroma on your hands, and I would just cup that over his face and have him inhale it. He was very receiving to the oils and learned to love the oils from a very young age.
And is he still using them now?
He is. So now he's 11 and a half, and we've changed up that blend a few times to support him now. He's able to focus a lot better. But yeah, we use the oils all the time, and he takes it to school with him, and he uses it himself now.
Wow, that's wonderful. Do your clients come to you for months and years, or just maybe for a couple of weeks while they're going through something like stress?
Yeah, months and years. Once somebody experiences the oils and has a good experience with them, they continue using them to support all aspects of their health, physically and emotionally.
Yeah. The one that I took, it was probably 20 years ago, but now I'm very interested in them, having spoken with you, was called Abundance. I don't know if it was because I believed or it was because of the oil, but I was going through desperate financial straits, and it did resolve quite quickly.
Yes. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So it's not just for respiratory issues. It's also for things like abundance in your life.
Correct. Yes. Emotional health, mental health.
What other things can it be used for?
Basically everything. So we have this saying, there's an oil for that. So I try to help people train their mindset to realize, when they're going through something, maybe their kid fell down and got a scrape, maybe they have a stomach ache or a headache or anything going on, always think there's probably an essential oil for that. And grab your essential oils and figure out which one you need to use. There's going to be an oil to support that. So like I mentioned, digestive issues, any kind of aches and pains, everyday uses.
Sure. So I suppose as a customer, you become a little bit more aware and you get to know what is going to be used for what. But you do have a support system if a customer has a question for you. They can go to your Facebook group, or where else can they go? Can they call you?
So I have customers that actually text and call me daily. Email is another good place. But yes, that's my favorite part of my job, is supporting people. I love when people message me and ask these questions, because that means that they're using their essential oils. So I love to help them figure out which ones to use. We have books, little handheld books that are super simple to use, that you can look up your ailment. It'll tell you which oil to use. There's also an app. So lots and lots of resources.
Oh, that's great. And we'll get into your contact information at the end of the podcast. But in the meantime, do you do phone consultations or Zoom meetings as well as in-person appointments?
Yes, I do phone consultations. I prefer Zoom or virtual just because I'm a face-to-face person, but either works. And those are about 30 minutes to an hour. And I offer those for free just to teach people about oils and see which oils would be best for them.
Now, it's been a really stressful couple of years with the pandemic and the war in Ukraine and inflation and so much more. Do you find a lot of clients are reaching out to you to help them deal with stress?
Yeah, I would say in the beginning of the pandemic a couple of years ago, our main oils, the most popular ones, were the ones to boost the immune system and support the immune system, of course. And then as it went on, people were really reaching out for anything to support their emotions and all of the stress. So there are a ton of oils that can be very calming and help to balance out the emotions.
Sometimes we can control them. Other times our emotions control us. Are there certain oils you'd recommend for those times when we're just plain more emotional than usual?
Definitely. And what I love about essential oils is you can use them as often as needed. So what I do is I carry one in my purse, so I have it with me at all times. I have one on my nightstand, kind of have them in reach at all times. And some of my favorite blends would be Adaptive, Serenity, Balance, and Peace. Those are 4 different blends that are all very calming. And it depends on the person, it depends on preference. Single oils would be lavender, frankincense, copaiba, magnolia, and rose. Those are all single oils that are very calming and good at supporting the emotions.
Okay. And can essential oils be used while you're on medications?
They can. I would say they are safe with most medications, but of course, always consult with your doctor.
Sure. And what about side effects? Are there any?
There are no known side effects. Some people are more sensitive to certain essential oils, just like with anything else, but there's no long-term side effects.
And what about people who are allergic to perfumes and colognes? Can they use them?
They can, and that depends on the quality of essential oil you're using. I only use certified tested grade essential oils, which are third-party tested to make sure there's no synthetics, no fragrance, no additives, no chemicals, no traces of pesticides or anything like that. So when people are allergic to perfumes and colognes and things like that, that's usually because it's a synthetic fragrance.
Do you have a success story you might want to share from a client who came to see you and then the issue was resolved through essential oil use?
I have a client who's actually now a friend, and she had been on a medication for years just to help her get through some emotions, some unwanted emotions that she was having. While she was using this medication, she just wasn't really feeling like herself being on it, and she didn't feel like it was a good fit for her. So she was looking for other options. We started her on essential oils. The 2 that I recommended to her was Balance, which is one of the calming blends, in combination with Wild Orange. So she really liked those 2 together. They go really well together. She started using those, and her testimonies and what she would tell me was amazing. She just felt completely different. She loved the benefits. She loved how she was feeling. And I mean, now till this day, you'll never see her without those 2 oils.
That's so great. Is there anything else you'd like to add to our conversation today, Valerie?
Just to not be intimidated by using essential oils. They might sound complicated, but once you start using them, just like with anything else, you get the hang of them and you'll realize how much they really could benefit you.
How can people get in touch with you?
You can find me on Instagram at Wellness by Valerie, or my email is wellness@valeriehoward.org.
Well, this has been incredibly wonderful, Valerie. Thank you so much for joining us today and informing us all about essential oils. Very exciting.
My pleasure.
And for more information, you can head on over to our website at stoughtonhealth.com. And that concludes this episode of Stoughton Health Talk. Please remember to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast and all the other Stoughton Hospital podcasts. I'm Deborah Howell. Have yourself a wonderful day.